TimesRecordNews.com football show. Andy Newberry here with Jonathan Hull. It's Rider Old High. You wrote about it. It's over with.
Yeah.
It filled the stadium again. You know, it was exciting. A lot of exciting plays. Wasn't a close game. Wasn't contested. But moving on, what does Rider get out of their 2-0 start and kind of the momentum off that game?
They've got huge playoff positioning as far as that goes. To beat Sherman, to beat Old High, both of those were two teams that they thought they would be battling for playoff positioning in that Class 5A Division II. Now they got Denison coming up. And if they can beat Denison, well, they're 3-0 against the three teams that they're going to be battling. They can almost guarantee themselves, as long as they go up and, you know, just really struggle down the stretch, lose the Braswell or something, they can almost guarantee themselves the #1 spot in the Class 5A Division II playoffs. And that's huge because you avoid Aledo in the first round, and maybe it gives you a chance to go 2 or 3 rounds deep in the playoffs.
So, and Denison impressed me that week before with their resiliency, and that the Coyotes had a chance to beat Denison. They were out playing them early. And then Denison lost their quarterback early in that game, but then they put the backup in. They ran their stuff, you know. Then they got back in, and they earned a win. I don't think at Denison is an automatic win for Rider at all.
No, and I think that's why the performance against Rider was so disappointing for Old High, because for 3 straight weeks they at least had been in a situation where they could have taken control of a game, or they could have won a game. And with Rider, I mean, they never had a chance. I mean, from the go.
Yeah, special teams put them in such a big hole, I thought, and then not having Stephen Gaines to kind of just at least make some first downs while that start. I think with him on the field, it doesn't get out of hand that quickly. I think the winner would have been the same.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, Denison's quarterback that went out in this game, he's out for the season. So they're down to the backup now.
He's not bad.
No, and he played well against Old High. You know, their running back is probably one of the best players in the district. Very electric player. You wrote a bit about him. But, you know, he's
really good player. Really
good punt returner
tough.
too. He plays defense for him as well. So he's a legit player all the way through. And it's going to be a challenge for Rider to go over there and beat them, even with them down to a backup quarterback. Yeah, their coach Chad Rogers is a very innovative mind when it comes to the offense, because he will run just about anything at you. He will go to a triple option set, and the next thing you know, he's in the spread. I mean, he's very multiple in what he'll do.
I think the formula Rider has stumbled on, focused on, and then executed the last 3 weeks, where they're getting plays out of all 3 phases. I think Rider has to be a team that wins that special teams battle most of the time. Yeah. So I think they have to keep creating plays, and that Denison is dangerous on return game. Yeah. And so that's going to have to be on point. And then the Rider defense doesn't always stuff you in the backfield. You know, they don't always push you back. They got to make tackles, and they have to create a turnover once in a while.
And they've been able to do that the last couple of weeks. They've had turnovers that have been returned for touchdowns the last 2 weeks. So yeah, that's been the key.
The thing, Rider does have some speed on defense, so when they make a play, they can go with it.
They have playmakers on that side. I mean, you're talking about guys like Bryce Hughes and Denari Curry.
Curry is such a player.
And both of them are just, and those are the same 2 guys that are making the big plays in special teams as well. Yeah. A lot of the time. So
yeah, those most teams that are really bad with their cover units, they're not good on defense either.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So those 2 guys are huge difference makers. I think we're going to start seeing more Bryce Hughes on the offensive side of the ball too. I think he's going to probably see more carries come up for him against
He can't play every snap.
He can't. But if he could, they would love to have him out there too, because the kid just has no quit. You know, Old High is
Old High has Denton here, and Denton's explosive again. They are. And good all-around team. I think they've gradually kind of gotten better on defense.
Yeah, defense is strong. They're still very based much around the power running game. They lost a great running back from the last 2 seasons, Xavier Scott, but they replaced him with a kid named Kayla Asofa, and he was the backup for Scott last year, and he's pretty productive whenever he got in there. So he's still being productive. Colt Atkinson, who's the coach's son, he's playing quarterback. He had 4 touchdown passes last week, and he's been in that system for a couple of years now.
Old High just they need Gaines back in there, kind of reestablish themselves as a running team.
Yeah, and Gaines is expected to play. He sat out last week with a concussion, but he's expected to play this week. And
in the passing game, they're not going to make 15 or 20 plays. They just have to make 2 or 3 big ones.
And of course, the quarterback situation is so up in the air. And Cornelius Phillips got hurt. He had to be carried off the field.
Yeah, that was really a sad part of that game.
Yeah, against the Old High Rider game. But they're really talking to Coach Shar on Monday. He wasn't just completely sure what they were going to do. He said Cornelius is day to day, see how he feels, and there's a chance that Stephen Gaines is the guy back there taking direct snaps. Who knows what else they can bring up.
Yeah, so. And he can do something with it. The biggest game nearby is out at Iowa Park, where the 6-0 Hawks, and they just keep impressing us every week. And they're playing Crum, the district favorite.
Crum, who played Sanger, who is a district, one of the top teams in Class 4A Division 1, played them really tough earlier this year. Sanger, who beat Graham pretty convincingly.
And it's a playoff rematch. Crum's the one that knocked Iowa Park out of the playoffs.
There's a revenge factor here. I think Bowie Franks is the MVP of our. If I had to pick a Red River MVP right now for big schools, I'd pick Bowie.
Through
Franks.
About half of our season, yeah.
Yeah, and because what he's done is incredible. He's carrying a big load, and he's the one who creates openings for the passing game or for Meyer to run as well. So, Bowie Franks has been incredible. Going to be interesting to see what he does against Crum, because I know Crum's defense is probably the stoutest defense they've seen this year.
Yeah, it probably will be. I think it's another game where Iowa Park will need to be good on special teams, kind of like Ryder, and they'll also need to win that turnover battle.
Yeah,
and they've been able to create some.
That's something that they've done throughout. I think Aubrey Sims' era there's 3 years. They create turnovers, and you give that offense a second chance or a free possession, basically, and you're going to regret it. You can't do that against them. So
that's a big time game. There is also a good 3A game. The 3A district gets started there.
Yeah, Henrietta and
Jacksboro, and Holiday goes to Nakona.
Yeah,
which kind of Holiday's had a good defensive team so far, and then Nakona can throw the ball a little bit. So I think that's an interesting game.
Interesting contrast of styles. Probably not a 3-0 score.
Probably not. I think that the score maybe 17 or 20.
Yeah, Holiday probably have to score. Yeah, in the 20s maybe to win it.
But Henrietta's kind of the favorite. But Jacksboro's had a young team that's been getting better here for a year and a half or two.
They got some big plays last week. It seems like they had a lot of plays over 40 yards and that resulted in some touchdowns. So if they can break some of those off, they might have a chance to upset Henrietta.
But this district isn't like just either one of these. The 4A district and the 3A district, they're not just easing into the schedule with a few mismatches.
No, yeah.
We're going to find out right off the bat who's good.
Right away, yeah. And even, we talk about Hershey. He's going to play Thursday against Sanger. So they're going to figure out
Thursday night at Memorial Stadium.
That's right.
Yeah, a good team coming to town.
Yeah, they're going to figure out exactly where they belong, and the next week they get Decatur. So they're playing the two teams. We've kind of said Hershey's number 4 in that district. If they want to say we're number 2 or number 3, they got to win one of these.
They got Hershey Decatur right off the bat.
Yeah,
pulling upset, and everybody's going to take notice.
Yeah, and they showed some big play. 2 weeks ago, finally that offense was a little more consistent. Roman Turner really got rolling, and I love Hershey's defense. I do. I love the speed that they have at linebacker, and their pass rushers Ezekiel Holmes and Sean Palmer. They're both fantastic pass rushers. So
we had kind of the one huge game last week that we focused on, but this week has games all over the place that are really good.
It is. Yeah, it's a busy week of Friday night football, and it should be a fun one to figure out at the end.
Thanks for joining us. When we come back next week, we'll have a good read on all these districts.